Hey, I've been coming up with some really random things, and I'm like, wow, that was interesting. Wow, that was interesting. One of the most recent ones just now was, and this is because I'm not in the flow of it, it's not gonna come out the same. I wonder if I can go into the flow of it. Anyways, it was don't go through life trying to make meaning. Go through it making moments, because every moment has meaning. Now, for me, that resonated very deeply because it made me look at it from a perspective of don't focus on the big things that we want to experience in life only, because all of the moments in between are just as meaningful if you choose to look at it that way. And that's the ultimate part of the message, which is learn to make each moment of life beautiful, no matter how it is, no matter whether it's easy to be in bliss or hard to be in unhappiness. Make each moment as meaningful as the rest. And thinking about it, when you look at each situation as an opportunity, you kind of make them all have the same level of importance. It's an opportunity to experience or an opportunity to become aware of something new, which is, for me, the way I see it from as above so below, also is the purpose of creation is to exist, to experience, to create. And to create is to also experience the creation. So you have to not only think about it, not only put it into physical form, but then observe it also from that physical form. I think that's interesting because I think it works on every level. Anyways, I just thought I'd share. I mean, I don't even know if I'm going to share this. I thought I'd just put on the camera. I've had some really interesting perspective shifts in the last couple of hours. I got to a point and I realized, hey, do you know what? I would like some magic in my life now. I'd like to experience a little bit of that. I started thinking about it and I was like, it would actually be kind of cool. It would be kind of interesting to experience a little bit of magic, right? So I made the intention and opened myself up to perceiving a little bit of magic. I decided consciously from my soul that I would like to experience a little bit of magic. Now, when I say my intention is this, that means from the depth of my soul, this is what I intend to do. It's not just my word, it's my soul intends on creating this intention. And that was another thing I was thinking about as well, is, you know, when you have plans to do something, someone, like you're talking to someone about, yeah, I got plans to do this, and I would like to do it like this, and I would like to do it like that, and all of this stuff, right? Like, there's nothing wrong with it, but I was thinking, maybe I might shift the way I say things now to, yeah, I'm creating something right now. It's really interesting. It's not fully unfolded yet, but I'm in the process and it's unfolding nicely. And you use that for, yeah, whatever your, obviously you use your terminology, but the point is, with that kind of terminology, it's like you don't say anything negative about what you're creating. You don't put any pressure on yourself. You don't put any negative spin on that you're not doing enough or you should be doing better. It's just a neutral, imbalance response. From my perspective, that's how it feels to me. Sometimes it can sound like you complain about things, and sometimes it sounds like you can, or not you can. And this is the thing, this is my interpretations. Like when I listen to people, I feel like sometimes I'm like, okay, they don't seem very happy about this, or it seems like they're frustrated with that. Like, but it's not like a judgment, it's more like an observation, like observing the behavior, the body language. And it's not that I consciously try to do it, it's just the background mechanism that gives the input feed that I'm aware of. Because when it's judgment, you have no control over that voice. If that voice pops up, it doesn't always pop up for me, but sometimes it pops up, and it's like I hear that judgmental thing come, and I'm like, why would that thought even come up? But it's like, what I noticed is when you're going through this transition period of being more aware of certain things, it don't just shift. It's like the seasons. You don't just go from summer to spring to summer. It shifts slowly. The flowers don't just go boom. It's like it takes a process to come out. They slowly spring out, like, So the point is, you go through back and forth. It's like you're trying to find the balance between being aware and getting lost in the experience of life. That's all it is. Because the experience of life is nothing wrong with it. We're supposed to be here to do that and have that, right? But if you're fully in the experience of life and you've completely detached from your awareness, from your source, from your higher self, your higher consciousness, your God, whatever terminology you want to use, yeah? I'm not talking about God right now, I'm talking about you. You, your connection to you, and the way you go through it. But this is my perspective, so I'm not saying it's the same for you. I'm just describing how it is for me in a way for you to understand what I'm saying, and then maybe you can look at it from a different perspective and see what you think of it and tell me your opinion or your perspective, whether you agree with things or whether you have a different idea of things, because I'm here trying to open more. So I don't want you to come and say, yeah, you're right, I believe you, or you're wrong, I don't believe you. I want you to come and tell me, like, what's your thoughts? How do you feel? What do you think? What's the deal, yo? Tell me, I want to know. I'd love to have more perspectives. But back to what I was saying, I don't actually remember what it was, but this whole process with coming back to yourself is mentally and emotionally, right? And it's not just that either, because there's more inside of us, outside of us, around us. There's energy, and the energy is like a frequency, right? And let's say you're angry. Your body language, your verbal, potentially language and tone, face expressions, it all changes, right? Some people, they've developed the awareness to be still and have that poker face while their emotions are there, but even those people, if you're aware enough, you can see the changes, you can feel it, you can pick up on it still. But the point is, if you see that your whole body language changes, right, imagine your body is like the radio to the frequency of anger, right? At that point. So when you tune to happiness, your body language changes, you express yourself in happiness. So imagine the body is now the radio and your conscious awareness is choosing which emotion to go into. This is possible. I can do it. And if I can, you can, right? So this is possible. And all you have to do is develop your awareness of yourself. It's just there's different aspects of yourself. Just you don't get emotional intelligence by being aware of an emotion. You have to go through the spectrum of emotions, because each emotion that you become more aware of, you now understand how that one works better, how to navigate that one, how to process that one better. You don't learn all of them from doing one. Everything has its own bar of awareness, right? And then you also have the awareness of your overall self. And this one, the deeper your awareness grows, the deeper everything is experienced. Your emotions feel deeper, your experiences feel more heavenly, more beautiful. It doesn't mean everything changes, but the process of what I'm about to explain is how things could potentially change. They don't need to. But if you want it to change just for yourself, it could. I know this. So, the way I just described, you tune into the emotions like a radio, and the body is the radio expressing those emotions. You are just the thing behind choosing which station to tune into, right? When you're not aware, you're no longer tuning in. Your ego, yeah, and an ego is not a bad thing. The ego is the identity. The human being that's experiencing this life has its own natural thinking process. That's the ego. That's the thing that's like, it happened to me, it's happening to me, it's happening because of me, it's happening for me. Me is the ego. I. But this I, not the one awareness that can step out of the ego. That's why it's higher. Not because it's better, because it's a different experience. They're just as beautiful and meaningful as each other, right? But you step out by being above. You can see from higher. That's why it's higher level of consciousness. Yeah? Then you look down on you as this being, but you don't come out your body and see it, but in your mind, your imagination, right, is infinite. You feel the sensations that you feel. This is how I experience it. You feel the sensations that you feel, and if you allow your mind to interpret those sensations, you can get a vision. So when I feel things, I will explain what I feel so I don't get visions. But when I think about it, I can get visions and then explain the visions. This I just done now and realized now from this, because I just done it. That was interesting. That's pretty cool. Anyways, so the point is, radio station, body, frequency, you choose. The awareness, right? The ego. You step out of the ego into the awareness. So that's you being more aware. You don't step out anywhere. It's just a way to describe what kind of perspective and experience you have with human words that don't really have the real articulation to give you the experience. And that's why you need to experience it yourself to understand, because now it sounds like, oh, this person's just chatting nonsense. But when you can experience it and feel it yourself, then you'll be like, okay, I understand what you're saying now. But the awareness and the ego, I know there's people that know. I'm not saying nobody knows. I'm talking to the people in those moments where I say things like that. It's the people that don't know, that's skeptical, that's probably not even at this point of the video. But the awareness, the ego, yeah? So now, and this is my definitions at the moment of the meaning of those words, right? That's my meaning of those words. So that's why I give you the examples of what it means to me when I use one word, so you can understand the depth of what I'm actually saying. And that's how you would be able to understand how much meaning I'm putting into what I'm trying to say. So that's why I do it. I don't know if it helps other people or not, but that's how I understand and that's how I process things. So that's how I share things. So the ego, the awareness. When you then start becoming more aware of yourself, and this you do by consciously choosing to do it, you need to remember, because life is a distraction from awareness. Nothing evil. It's just a distraction, because everything is a stimulation and awareness is detachment from all things. So if you're being stimulated, right, one side, and the other side is detachment from it, you're going to either be stimulated or detached. This is the beginning part anyways, because at some point you become aware and stimulated at the same time. And that is really interesting, a wonderful journey too. But that's just focus on learning to consciously choose to detach, because it's not as simple as, okay, I'm going to choose to now. You will, when you do that and you feel that, you know what, I really actually want to do this, and you make the intention to start becoming more aware. The problem is every single thing has its opportunity to become aware of something. So you can't just say, I'm going to become more aware, and then that's it. Sometimes there's situations where you realize, actually, I want to become aware of this specific thing. So when you then set the intention to become more aware, like I did a couple weeks back, maybe nearly 2 months ago, about communication. Since I made the intention to become more aware of communication, my communication has changed quite a lot, I believe. And my understanding of communication has changed a lot. I can understand more deeply what people mean, even when they still express themselves in the way they used to. So it's basically, I've learned to understand how people communicate also, as well as how I communicate. It doesn't mean it's a magical gift. It means we, as these magical gifts of life, we get to go through life with the free will to experience things in the way that we want. Yeah? In the way that we want. Not in the way that we want. We don't always get to choose the way the world is around us, but we can always choose the world that's going on inside of us. It's just hard, right? And the point is to learn to make it second nature. Never mind easy. For me, it's easy now, but it's not second nature yet, right? Now, this thing that I'm talking about, now that I explained all the other stuff, I'm going to explain this part. I found a way for myself personally to tune into a frequency that is my truth, right? So truth to me. And I'm explaining from my own perspective here, right? It's my truth. I'm not going to say it's everybody's truth, because it's not. It's my truth. But it's my truth, my understanding of life through my experience of life. Because I've consciously chose to become more aware of how I walk through it and what's happening around me and inside of me, I've got more understanding of who I actually am and what I actually am. And when you go on explorations within your mind with the openness and freedom of not being limited to one perspective, because you've learned to open your mind to more perspectives, you can navigate the things that make you curious more freely. And when you can observe your thoughts more freely and it makes you more creative in a sense, because you don't have things stressing you so much. You don't have things that you think about all the time. You have more stillness. You have more time to create and to explore the things you would like to think about, because your mind can create anything. And what's wonderful is when you create something, you can also feel a way about it. This is a frequency. You can create an image of something that gives you a sensation of a frequency. So when people say manifesting, think about the life that you want and see how you would feel in that life. You're generating the frequency that you feel would bring that life towards you, because you're like a magnet too, right? So this is how I understand it to work from my own experience. But the frequency in which I speak of now is that of peace, right? And to some people, you know, when you use a word, you get a certain feeling with it. If when I said the word peace, you had a sensation, then that's your definition of peace, right? If you didn't feel anything, then that means you don't even have a definition of peace. Not because there's something wrong with you, but you've never become aware of feeling peace. Everyone deserves to feel peace. We weren't here to live crazy lives. And even if we did, we definitely deserve peace at that point, right? So this frequency that I consciously continue to tune into to try and stay permanently as my baseline of experiencing the world, right, is peace. And with that peace, and you find it within yourself and you feel it, it's the same thing. You express yourself in a peaceful way. Now, I don't even need to explain anymore, but if everybody else started doing this around the world, I think it would bring a better peace. What do you think? Maybe. Anyways, when you're peaceful, you treat people how? You treat people as if you're peaceful. And what does peaceful feel like? For me, peaceful feels like I have no stress, I have no problems, I have no weight on my shoulder, I have nothing I need to think about, I have no emotional turbulence, there's nothing bothering my heart, there's nothing bothering my mind. My body is not hurting and distracting me. My health is good. I am completely still. I am just being aware of being. To me, that's what peace is. And the way it feels is your cup is full and you can feel it overflowing. For me. So if that's how you feel within yourself, how do you express yourself? Loving, offering, willing, considerate. Doesn't mean you're always like that. When you're in that frequency, you come from that place. So peace produces love, and together peace and love make harmony, because when you're peaceful and you share love and the other person is peaceful and shares love, there's harmony there. So for me, the frequency that I choose to tune into is that of peace, love and harmony. And that's why I call it that, because that's the outcome of tuning into the frequency of stillness within yourself, of the truth within yourself. A lot of people talk about your authentic self, and they attach that statement really deeply to the ego, and really, but it's their truth from their ego. It's their true self from the ego. It's the true expression of the things they experienced in life that created the way that they behave and who they are, because that's who they are. Because they're not out into the awareness yet. They're fully in the ego still. You can still pop in and out. You can become aware of something while you're still full living in the ego. I still have the ego. Everyone has the ego. It's not about losing the ego. It's about learning the ego. It's about becoming aware of the ego. Okay? It's all about awareness. Awareness is the key to setting yourself free. So, if you go through processes with an open mind and an open heart and learn to process your emotions and learn to sit with your emotions and realize when you're deflecting from uncomfortable things and all of that, it's not magical, it's not mystical, but it is real. And it's not complicated, it's just difficult. And when you start doing it consciously with the awareness, things progress a lot faster. When you're not looking out to find out and understand, why am I going through this, what's going on, oh, maybe it's because of this, maybe because of this aligning with that, and like, it's fun doing that. That's creative, that's curious, right? But don't do it to your detriment, because it doesn't really matter why any of it's happening. It's happening, so go through it, because the point of it is to go through it. And I suggest you find a way to go through it in a way that feels the most beautiful to you. And if that's going through it, feeling the pain and the hurt and the sadness and continuing to go through that for years and years and years, then you do it. But if you choose to no longer go through it that way, and you're like, do you know what, I actually want to experience more peace in this life, on this life, on this planet, within myself, in the life that I'm living right now, then I'll explore. Maybe, some other people might not just be losing it, they might have some interest in here. What's the worst that could happen? You try it, think about it, and feel and see and experience nothing, and then don't do it again. No biggie. But I have no reason to try and convince anyone. I don't want anything. Anything I ever create is going to be free anyway, so I don't gain nothing from it. For me, I just enjoy talking and sharing, and I enjoy seeing people happy and peaceful. And I honestly do believe that if people was open to having a little look at a different perspective here and there, the world would be a more peaceful place. And I would definitely, I say I would, I have set the deepest of intention to bring more peace, at least into my own little world, the people around me, the way that I live. But I have a very big intention for the world to find it to some degree too. While I'm still here, I believe it's possible. I don't even think it needs a generation. I think it could shift within the middle of one generation. It's just about how open and willing people are. And that's the point that people talk about, the shift. I don't know if it's as simple as everyone will shift. And this is probably why they talk about two earths. It's because when the awareness switches on and people want to be more peaceful, because when you're aware, you feel everything more deeply. And that's why people go through this dark night of the soul thing, because they're feeling everything deeply that they haven't processed. And they don't know how to process it because they're coming out of not being aware. So it's all new, it's all intense, it's all hard. And if you learn to consciously sit with that with awareness and process it rather than avoiding it, then eventually it passes through. But because we haven't been taught this, we all try to avoid feeling the discomfort, which is a natural thing. When something is not comfortable or painful, you try to get away from it. You don't think, oh, let's go into the fire because it's burning me. You think, get the hell out of the fire. There's nothing wrong with that, people. There's nothing wrong with that. So don't judge other people and don't put pressure on yourself either, because awareness is nothing to do with age. It's to do with snap moments that bring you to you. And this is another thing. I personally have set myself anchor points. Certain thought processes, I have an anchor point that it jumps in and pulls me back out of the ego. I set myself up with ways when I do something, and I want to get a tattoo on my wrist that says everything is as it should be. Why? Because for me, what that means, it's a bit long to explain it, I think, I don't know. But when I say everything is as it should be, that's the statement that I came to when I learned to have acceptance. So when I see it, it reminds me to have acceptance. So when life is showing me, giving me something that's difficult to deal with, manage, handle, and I shouldn't even say it like that really. When life gives an opportunity for you to lose yourself into the ego, your awareness into the ego, for you to fall out of your awareness into the ego because the life story becomes so intense. That's why deep emotional things make people who's aware lose that connection, because that deep emotional thing can pull you straight into the ego's experience, and everything is the ego again. I personally believe this happened in my last relationship for both of us. I'm out of it. I trust she is too. So, I don't remember what I was saying, but basically, guys, it's up to you what you want to do, but there is a process, and I've got these anchor points, and these anchor points are part of the process. And I'm not saying, hey, listen, I know what I'm doing and you should do it too. What I'm saying is, I'm consciously going through life and I'm noticing things for myself. Maybe if you be more conscious of going through your life, then you'll be more aware about things about yourself. It's not about me. It's about you. So I'm sharing this with you, for you, but for me. So everybody wins. And only the people who consciously choose to sit here and listen and try to understand what I'm sharing will even consider looking at things from a different perspective. So whoever sat here and listened, you are someone that is more likely to be curious and interested in this journey. And for that reason, congratulations to you, because it's a really beautiful journey. So, yeah. Tune in, guys. Tune in to peace, love, and harmony. Peace, love, and harmony. And you tune into the radio station of your body, into peace, love, and harmony, and it shares that peace, love, and harmony to the people around you, the way you express yourself, the way you become creative, the way you live, the way you experience life. Yeah, don't even forget that part. When you're in these frequencies, you're behaving in that way, but not just because you're tuned into the frequency. The frequency you're tuned into makes you think and perceive every situation that you're going through from that lens. So if you don't trust people, right, and you meet someone new, you definitely don't trust them. They have to build their trust up, right? If you are very trusting, then when a person comes, you might just trust them. Or you can be aware and you cannot distrust, observe, and build trust. For me, that's a healthy balance. And it seems like the middle of both ends of the spectrum. Happiness and sadness, it's the same thing. And it's not just happiness and sadness, they're the opposites, but in the scale of happiness and sadness, It's happiness and sadness. Sorry, happiness and sadness. This is levels, depths. The more aware you become, the deeper the depth of happiness and sadness you experience. You don't experience things less, you experience things more, which makes it what? A continuous process of self-evolution. Because the more deeply you can feel things, the more deeply you have to stay connected to yourself with awareness so you don't lose the connection to yourself. So when you fall out of that connection, do not beat yourself up. It's part of the process. It is the process. In fact, not part of it, it is the process. It's okay. It's okay. It doesn't matter. It's okay. Literally every single being on the planet could have this situation happen to them. And they probably do. And when it happens, I mean, not could, every being on the planet has this situation. And when it does, a lot of them will beat themselves up about it or have a negative response to how they perceived the fact that they missed something. I used to do that. I'm like, rah, I thought I was aware of things. How did I miss that one? Maybe I'm not as aware as I thought. I wasn't aware enough to realize that everything had its own starting point. And it's pretty simple because you don't know something before you know it. Your knowledge that you get about it is your awareness starting to it. It doesn't matter where the knowledge comes from, whether you think about it and learn it there, or whether you read it and learn it there, or whether you do it and learn it there. It's still knowledge, it's still awareness developing. The awareness of your body, awareness of your mind, awareness of your heart, your emotions. And then I say energy. Maybe it's just your nervous system. I don't know. But I can feel tingling in my body when I place my awareness there. And I can feel when it's in harmony. I can feel when I'm tuned into peace, love, and harmony. And that's why I can describe what it feels like, because I can feel the sensations of the energy inside my body because I've developed the awareness of that also. Everybody can do that. Everybody might even be doing that, but just describe it in a different way than what I'm saying. I don't know. Or maybe you've all felt it, but never thought it was a real thing and never explored it, and that's why you didn't develop more of the awareness. I had a situation where it just flooded me, and that was very intense. And after that, I could just be aware of it, and it's got deeper and deeper the more I've sat with it, because I've developed the awareness of it. I've learnt how to be, I've become more aware of how to be a human being living consciously through awareness. Doesn't mean I've done it all, figured it out, got it. It means I am in the unfolding consciously, willingly, openly. I'm receptive to the universe. I'm walking with God, with Jesus, with my spirit guides. All those things everyone's describing, right? For me, it's the peace, love, and harmony I feel within myself, because that's what's guiding me, and I'm seeing the results of what it's guiding me towards. I'm feeling it, and it sounds exactly like what everyone describes in these journeys. So I'm saying I have my own relationship with what I feel, and I don't believe it. I know it because I've experienced it. So I'm not saying this is how it is for you. I'm not saying I'm right. I'm saying I'm doing my thing. Are you doing yours? Because if you're not, please do it for yourself. You definitely deserve it. I promise you, you will not regret it. You might regret it in the process, but when you get to the other side, it's not the end, the other side, you will be so grateful for everything you went through. But It's your choice. It's your life. And I respect your decision and I appreciate you. And I will love you regardless of however you choose to walk through life. Because that's how I'm choosing to walk through it now. Yes, I'm pretty sure there will be points where I wobble. But I'm fully embedded with awareness of this frequency now, that I will always come back to it if I ever lose it. But I'm getting closer and closer to not losing it at all in the most difficult time of my life. So I'm pretty sure once the most difficult time fades out and the emotions are not as intense and as deep, it will be a lot easier to stay in that frequency without any interruptions. And if anyone actually did listen to all of this and you are interested in doing that stuff also, and you're already doing it and this is how you live, please reach out. Like, let's connect. Let's build something together from that same space. I've got some ideas that can have a really beautiful change and impact to any amount of scale that's open to it, because it's done from that same place. So it's not our responsibility to do anything for anybody else. Everyone has their own responsibility to deal with their own things, because they also have the same consciousness that we do, and ability of self-realization and self-control and processing the emotions, because it's just learning how to experience life, learning how to exist, right? So don't hold it against anyone. Don't. And you won't even need to hear this stuff, the ones that, really got there, because you would already know this. But the ones that are still in the process, you don't need to judge or anything like that. Just let them have their thing. And when I say the process, this doesn't mean there's a scale up here. Again, different awarenesses. You might never have thought about judgment, so you might judge people all the time and have no awareness that you're doing it. That's fine, right? It's completely fine. So I'm not saying you're at a different level than you're lower. No. There's scales for each awareness, and the awareness of judgment, you could be not even started, or you could be halfway through and still have those specific thoughts. Or you could be all the way through and get triggered and go all the way back to not, because you only get those awareness wisdoms when you're not in the ego. And as soon as you lose yourself into the ego, you lose your awareness back into the ego, that's when you start behaving in the ways that when you come back to your awareness and you calm down and you step back into a sound mind and you're thinking about your behavior, you're being aware of your behavior, you start questioning whether you was happy doing what you done. And that process of thinking about what you done and how it wasn't, that's you being aware of your actions, your behavior to an emotion. That's not you being aware of the emotion. So that's a different scale too. And that's why it's so complicated but simple, because unless you know to look at the small specific things, you have no idea where to look, because you could literally look anywhere. And this is why when you make an intention for yourself, it helps to be specific rather than I want to be aware in general. I want to be aware of this, because you narrow down the infinite possibilities of being aware of things to a specific thing or a few specific things. Remember, you're processing everything that you're becoming aware of. It's almost like you just instantly know and remember, but sometimes you think about them, sometimes you sit with them. It doesn't just come in the same way, it comes in all different ways, and it's about being open and receptive in a state of peace, love, and harmony that you can pick up on them. Michael Jackson knew. That's what he was talking about when he was in the pond in his most recent film that they've made. It's not crazy, mystical, magical stuff. It's just how we work, because we're part of the process, and that's the process of creation. If you follow it all the way back to the source was an intention, a conscious intention, no physical being, infinite knowledge, awareness, consciousness, creativity, everything that ever is, was, or will be. That's consciousness. You can think of any possible thing you can think of. Okay, when you make a conscious intention with the meaning being, when you tune into the frequency, you can feel it, right? The emotion, just call it an energy. Energy, emotion. They say emotion, right? When I'm talking about energy, let's just say it's your emotions. But what if we feel the emotions because the frequency we're tuned into has that type of energy? I know you'll say the brain creates this and that and da, but the brain creates it because of what? Because of what it's perceiving, what it's receiving. What it receives is either from your mind. It's not even either from it's from your mind. It's your fabrication, your creation in your mind. You can think about someone hurting you and get upset or angry. You can think about someone helping you and get happy and grateful. You can create whatever emotion you want in your mind. And to create the peace, love, and harmony is to create no intention. To be at peace and one in unity with creation itself. And you can live life connected that deeply to it when you develop the awareness of staying connected to it. It's very, very simple, but very difficult. Well, I have spoken for a while now, so I think I will leave it here. But it has been a pleasure for me. Can you say the same? I don't mind, honestly. I hope if anyone listened, they got even just a sliver, something little from. Even if you got nothing, use this opportunity to find a positive perspective, a new perspective, one that helps you stay in the kind of experience that you wish to have. If you want to judge me, judge me. If you want to hate me, hate me. If you want to love me, love me. If you want to like me, like me. If you want to follow me, you can do that too. But I don't want you to follow me. I'd rather you walk beside me. We can walk on this journey together. I said I don't want people to follow me and just watch my videos. I want to speak to people. I want to hear what people's experiences are, what their perspectives are, how they're walking through life, where they're struggling, if they would like a perspective from somebody else. This is what I enjoy doing, so this is what I'm doing. Anyways, peace, love, and harmony.